We are back with our second guest of the evening. He is Tyler the Marauder King. Tyler is slated to take on the 6-1 Amir, Aliakbari?
Amir Aliakbari.
July 30th for at the Rizin World Grand Prix here. How excited are you for this Rizin fight, man? I know a lot of people, that I've talked to were really excited about fighting in Japan, especially for the Rizin promotion.
I tell you what, let me tell you something. I ain't getting into this game to play it safe. I ain't getting into this game to, be like, oh, I had a couple of fights, Bellator, I'm cool. Nah, this is like bucket list. First of all, before I go any further, can I swear, yes or no?
I always say it like this, my friend. You can say and do whatever you want. I curtail myself. If you want to drop 100 bombs, drop 100 bombs, homie.
I'm not gonna drop 100 bombs. But there's something in this life that a lot of people talk about. They call it the bucket list. I call it bucket list shit. This is like just things that are on a bucket list that you need to do that are just they're a different category. And fighting in Rizin under Pride rules is one of those things that is bucket list shit. This is something I've always wanted to do. Like the first things I watched, besides old UFC, besides Ultimate Knockouts, was old Pride fights. Fedor Emelianenko, Ridley Silva in his heyday, early Alistair Overeem, Antonio Rodrigo Nogueira, the first Pride heavyweight champion, things along those lines. And this is bucket list shit that I've always wanted to do. And the thing that makes it even more fun is this match is elbows allowed. So this is Pride rules with elbows. I mean, I can't imagine a more fun scenario for a fight. In Japan, in the birthplace of martial arts, I can't imagine a better scenario, something more fun than doing this.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it is one of the reasons why a lot of people, a lot of fighters, who probably aren't in the UFC are just as excited about opportunities on the horizon because they have stuff like this out here. You have the Rizin promotion. The landscape of MMA has kind of changed in the last few years, and I think it's been kind of for the better. You have more opportunities for guys out there, and it's kind of shown. Go ahead.
I would 100% agree with you right there. With the Rizin Scott Coker coming up in the Bellator, and the way they've been open to partnerships with promotions like Rizin has really opened things up. You see the I wouldn't call it an exodus, but you see the general march of power players in the UFC's division, the upper division, in the welterweight division, middleweight division. You see power players, guys that the UFC for one reason or another aren't. I'm not gonna say they're not treating them well, but not giving them what they deserve, and Bellator is willing to step up and give them that money, and at the same time work with a promotion like Rizin. So you have Fedor Emelianenko fighting in both Rizin and fighting in Bellator, and guys like Brennan Ward, guys like King Mo, getting to go back and forth, kind of live that dream and make a great living here in America, fighting mixed martial arts and getting the sponsorships and getting the support they really need from the promotion. And like I said, like you were saying, it's just the landscape's changing. It's all for the better.
I do think it's for the better. And you just said it, man. Like look, you just had Gegard Mousasi, who was arguably maybe one win, if not going to be the next guy in line for the title, up and leave. Go to. I was actually surprised he signed with Bellator because of having a promotion like Rizin out there. It's just, it's crazy. Go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead. I was like, why would you be surprised to sign with Bellator? Because they're going to give him that money. And you're talking about a promotion like Rizin out there. While Gegard does have a really strong following in Japan, having fought there before, he's so marketable right now. He's like the Armenian Patrick Bateman. He's just walking the cage like, oh, I don't know, I'm going to kill somebody here, and just murking guys. I mean, he's lost, once in his last 5-6 fights, or that, spinning wheel kick, that spinning kick from hell. Yeah, it was, his last loss was to, Uriah Hall.
Yeah, and he was winning that fight. And he was taking Uriah Hall down, dominating him.
and caught that spinning kick from hell, which is what happens when you fight a guy like Uriah Hall. So, that's one of the most exciting, most remarkable fighters out there. And I know right now Rizin definitely compensated me very accordingly for this fight, for my first ever co-main event. Long time coming. I'm giving that bum Amir. I'm giving him so much publicity. They decided to put us in the co-main event, which where I belong to be. But a guy like Gegard, I don't know what was going on between him and Rizin, but I do know Bellator made it worth his while. So I think it's great for a guy like him to finally get the recognition and the money that he really deserves.
I thought it was crazy that he signed with Bellator, only because of how close he was to that title shot. I heard he would have tried to stick it out just to win the title, but that's the real world. We're fighters. We got families.
But I mean, but you know what though? You know what though? First, look what Rory got for his first fight in Bellator. Gegard's gonna get for his first fight in Bellator what we would have gotten for a title shot. And he's gonna fight somebody.
That's
true. He wins that fight, and then he's obviously fighting for the title. So, I mean, I think it was a very shrewd business move. I mean, I understand wanting to be a UFC champion, wanting to be one of the best in the world, but Gegard is going to get paid like a UFC champion in his first Bellator fight. I mean, how can you walk away from that?
Yeah, it's like, fighters, we're fighters, we have families and mouths to feed. You can't really turn down a good paycheck. Especially when,
of course not.
Being an amateur, I don't get paid, so I see guys, and I'm like, that guy's good. And I find out they don't make that much. It's hard to make money in this sport. I've always been told, if you're in this sport, you're probably not in it for a paycheck. You're in it because you love it, and hopefully a paycheck comes with it.
That's definitely part of it. Like, for me, this is my second job. Like, I have a stable, well-paying job. I love what I do, but, some guys like to brew beer. Some guys like to run Tough Mudder. I like to fight guys in a cage or a ring for money, for truckloads of cash. That's what I like to do. So everyone's got a different hobby. Mine's a little more extreme.
Yeah, there's nothing better than
more
punching someone. You can't get in trouble for it.
Yeah, well, like I said, you talk about being an amateur and doing it for the love of the game. Hey, if that was my only option, I would do that. But apparently, for some reason, someone thought I was good enough to just do it on this level. So I'll just kind of go with it until they fucking discover me.
Man, I'm hoping I reach that. My end goal is to reach that level,
Oh, of course. And I mean, how could it not be your end goal? Like, what the F is cooler than freaking going in a cage and expressing yourself in the art of combat? There's nothing better. There's nothing in the world like it. And I've done a lot of crazy stuff in my life. I've played the NFL. I've sacked a quarterback and had an entire stadium going nuts. Like, I've had that stuff happen, and it's awesome. But man, I wish I'd been doing this for longer because I love doing this.
Well, as an amateur, when I scored my first knockout, hearing how a lot everyone got for it, sounds like that's a small, regional, local area. I can only imagine in front of millions of people and it's televised and how crazy that would feel.
I tell you what, I cannot wait till I come out of that elevator and I'm walking down the aisle. My music's going and that amazing freaking pyrotechnics and light shows going off. There is nothing like a friggin' MMA entrance in Japan. There is nothing like it. You see Bellator trying to replicate it, but there is nothing like walking out into an entrance like that in Saitama Super Arena, and I'm going to cross that one off my bucket list. I'm going to get the win, too. I'm going to cross that off my bucket list after, but, man, just like that bucket list shit, I love it. This is why I do this.
It's one of the things, man, about this sport that I just think is awesome is, it's just the moments that even you guys, as fighters, you kind of get caught up in the moments just as much as some of the fans do. You see how you're just seeing that we just had UFC in Glasgow, and you just had a whole bunch of the Scottish fans there. It had a lot of their local guys. They were able to cross those bucket lists off. But a lot of the times the fans are just about in awe about those moments as so some of the fighters are. So it's just one of the things I just think where MMA has a kind of step above the four major sports that are here in the States.
I mean, I could definitely agree with that. I mean, I think I think you take anyone Let's say you take someone who's not really a sports fan. Maybe they're a theater fan or something like that, but they can appreciate the spectacle of it. And let's say you take them to a World Cup match. Let's say you take them to like a quarterfinal World Cup match. Then you take them to like this year's Super Bowl. Then you take them to like Conor McGregor's fight at UFC. No, you take them to Conor McGregor's fight at the O2 in Dublin. And then maybe if you had the ability to time warp them back to Pride Shockwave 2005, Fedor Emelianenko versus Mirko Cro Cop, show them that and then you ask them which one of those was the biggest spectacle, which one of those was the most impressive. And I think most of the people are probably going to say Shockwave 2005 or Conor McGregor at the O2 in Dublin.
I mean, that's real. Everyone loves a fight. You see people out on the street.
How can you not love a fight?
If there's like a basketball game going on and stuff, people go, or a fight breaks out, people typically go pull out their phones, record the fight. They don't care about recording the basketball game. People like violence.
Playing football. What happens when you have a disagreement on the field? What happens in hockey?
You throw
when you have
hands.
a disagreement on the ice. They fight. I mean, in football, you get out of the game, but that's what it all devolves to. Everyone understands a fight. Whatever kind of friction, that human emotion, that conflict, that desire to conquer, we all understand and can get interested in and get hooked on a fight. And it just is what we do as humans.
Now, you brought up Conor, right?
Yeah.
I got to ask you, obviously we've seen all the nonsense this week. We were just talking to Alexander about it, obviously being an MMA guy who's kind of crossed over into Muay Thai as it is now. What are your thoughts on this whole thing? Like, obviously, we knew that the press conferences was going to be a little nutty, a little over the top. That was a given, but just how everything is being portrayed and played out, what are your thoughts?
There are so many narratives going on right now. There's almost too much to keep track of. You can have an opinion on one thing, then there's a little side story that pulls it apart. There's all these different narratives. Everyone's talking about Floyd's tax issues and Conor's biggest payday, and now Mayweather Productions and how Conor's comments might be construed as racist, and then Floyd Mayweather came back in with sexist and homophobic remarks and everything like that. And then there's the boxing pundits, what I like to call the boxing lodge, the Boxing Writers Association. Oh, Conor has absolutely no chance. Then you have the new school guys like Mauro Ranallo, who admittedly is more of a boxing guy, and you have guys like Brennan Schaub, looking at this from a different approach, being like, listen, you can't write off a special athlete and a champion like this. I think it's an amazing spectacle. I think it's actually great for both sports. I'm not one of these people that say, boxing's done and everything like that. I'm one of these people that say, has a huge appreciation for boxing. I think MMA is superior, and I think it's, definitely become a more entertaining, more profitable sport. But I still think there's no way boxing doesn't have a place, especially with these huge, big money events. I don't know, man. When you have two guys that can manipulate the media like this, I think, and one thing that Floyd said that we rang very true. I spoke to a very prominent mixed martial arts veteran about this, and he gave me his opinion on it as well. But how Floyd said that Conor has taken his blueprint and made it his own, and he's loved for it. Being flashy. Floyd said, I was flashy, before it was cool. Conor made it cool to be flashy. Conor took my blueprint and doing his own thing. So if we had another young African American champion doing this, would he get the same kind of love? I think he kind of hit the nail on the head there, just because there's so many social issues that have been brought up because of this. And while it's good that we think about those things, I think that it's being kind of overblown, because at the end of the day, this is a fight. We're not people are talking about social norms and, we're being chauvinistic, we're being this, we're being that. At the end of the day, this is a fight. At the end of the day, they're going to get in the ring and try to take each other's heads off. There's nothing nice. There's nothing comfortable. There's nothing friendly about that. This is a fight. So they're going to say some probably pretty vulgar shit. And well, we're going to watch because it's a fight. It's a spectacle. We love this. Like, we don't want to admit it about ourselves, but we love that just violent spectacle. We love the blood sport. That's why we love fighting. That's why I love to do it. It's what we are as a species. So I think we kind of need to take all the social commentary on this, put it kind of in the back seat, and just watch it unfold. And, you know, like the boxing watch says, you know, Floyd's going to dominate. You know, many guys say he might get surprised. I think it's going to be one or two things. I think it's going to be Conor getting a knockout in the first 3 rounds, or Floyd cruising to an easy unanimous decision. And while my heart says I want Conor to win, my head says that it'll probably be Floyd winning by decision.
That's kind of how I'm looking at it.
Yeah, I'm on that same boat, and I think you pretty much nailed every issue on surrounding this thing on the head. I agree with you. If it was a black athlete acting like this, he'd probably get more flack than Conor does get for it. Conor does get flack, but not nearly the amount if it was an African American athlete. I wholeheartedly believe that as screwed up as it is, that, you know, we're still dealing with nonsense like this in a time like this where, you know, we can connect to hundreds of thousands of people all over the freaking world, but we still can't grow up in our own freaking minds. It's unbelievable.
That's 100% true.
It is.
But I think at the same time, we are forgetting this is a fight. This is a fight, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Some crazy stuff's going to be said. Some crazy stuff's going to happen. This isn't. We're not playing football. We're not even playing football here. We're not playing hockey. We're not playing baseball. They're going to beat the crap out of each other, try to kill each other.
Yeah.
You know, as fast as they can before the referee stops it. So let's stop being so nice, people. It's kind of our basic human instincts. Let's embrace it. Let's embrace how awesome the spectacle is going to be.
Well, like you said, you said a couple times, it's a fight. You know, you aren't going to say very nice things to each other. Hell, you're not even going to do nice things to each other. My intention is to hurt someone badly. Like, I want to hit you and watch you lock up. I want to make you a highlight reel.
I think Dominic Cruz hit the nail on the head when he said, well, he was mad that I said unkind things, but he wasn't exactly trying to do kind things to me in the cage, and I wasn't exactly trying to do kind things to him. You know, that's like me and Amir. I'm not going to say kind things to him. I'm definitely not going to try to do kind things to him in that ring. He is in my way. He is an obstacle in the way of what I want to get, of where I want to be. So I'm going to do everything in my power to injure you as best as the most devastating way possible, separate you from your senses, to rip your limbs apart, to crush your line, to choke you unconscious. I'm going to be trying to do all those things to try to eliminate you from the path I want to walk down.
I never cared when people talk to each other, because in my head I'm like, that's a great strategy. I was like, why not break them mentally before you go out and break them physically? Like, make them doubt themselves. Let them know what you want to do to them. I've never cared when people will run their mouths to each other. Like, you know, I've gotten into it with people back and forth. I'm not exactly proud of it, but at the same time, like we said, we just stated, it's a fight. We don't say nice things to each other. Exactly.
Remember when Conor, I'll bring up Conor again, when Conor took Jose's belts, then he had to face off with him. And Conor said to him, I've seen this video many times. Conor says, look at me. Look at my eyes. Little Brazilian. And he says, ooh la la la, however you say, you're going to die in Brazilian. And you tell me that
was scary.
Jose Aldo wasn't shook at that moment? Come on, man. Like, anytime you can get in your opponent's skin, you can make him think. You can make him doubt himself. You can make him act out of turn, out of place. Anything. Anytime you can deviate an opponent from his normal behaviors, you have got under his skin and you have gained an advantage. You have the upper hand. You need to maximize the upper hand to the best of your ability, whether it's with your mouth, with your actions, and ultimately with your fists and with your submissions.
Love it. Your our good buddy Jency says hello, Tyler.
Tell Jency I love her very much, and next time I'm in Phoenix, we'll get blackout drunk and make questionable decisions.
Oh man, yeah, I'm sure she'll love that. I'm not gonna say anything more than that. I'm not gonna say anything more than that. I should get my ass kicked by her.
I tend to believe
she's
that.
awesome. I love Jency. She's one of the few people that one of the few genuine people involved in this sport that if I had the chance, I would do anything for that person. She's awesome.
Yeah,
I agree. Love her show. Give her a plug. Let's give her podcast a plug. Was it the fighter, the writer, and the fan? Let's give that a plug, guys. Give that a listen too because the hosts are awesome.
Absolutely. I was just talking to Ace earlier as well. Jency, been giving them love. Giving them a shout out. They're here on the I guess we'll call it the Cape-Side Submissions Network. They do their show every Friday night. So make sure you guys tune into the Fighter, the Writer, and the Fans, aka Jency and Ace's show. But man,
pretty much.
She's awesome. And as we're getting ready to get toward the end of yours now, end of your interview, you got this fight coming up for Rizin. You gave this guy an opportunity to be the co-main event here. You already had one of his fans hit me up on Twitter earlier, telling me need to have him calling and you two talk to one another. I don't know what good that would have done.
I don't think he can talk. I don't think he understands words. I mean, let alone I don't think he understands words, let alone English. So I mean, you can have him come on and it's like these changes we're having. Those are gonna take these 2-minute exchanges. So it'll take 15 minutes. Trying to get him to understand it, and then I'll make him look real dumb. He'll start crying, and tell me he's gonna beat my ass in the parking lot of the Hilton in Tokyo, and just some shit like that. So I mean, it'll be fun, but I mean, he can't keep up. It's he won't be able to keep up in the ring, man.
Yeah, you're definitely not one of these guys who minces his words. You say how you feel. You act how you think, and me and you've had words on topics before, both publicly and privately, and still don't feel any different about it. I love guys like you at the end of the day because I'm a Philly guy. We think what's on our mind first, and then afterwards we think about the consequences of what we said.
Oh really? I never would have guessed that one. Anyway, no, you guys don't have that reputation at all.
Hey man.
No, at the end of the day, you. Okay, go ahead. I just want to say, but I just want to say, at the end of the day, when I'm talking to someone in the media, if I think you're if I think you're doing something that I don't agree with, I'll say it. But I also, if I'm wrong, I'll let you know in a public forum and privately as well, and you can testify to that, right?
Absolutely. But
at the end of the day,
go ahead.
Oh no, you go ahead. I cut you off. You go.
I mean, like I said, at the end of the day, regardless if you like something I'm doing or not, I'll always give you your platform, your time to say what you say, and if you think I'm right or think I'm wrong or whatever. But at the end of the day,
exactly
what we discuss is what we discuss. It's not going to change anything.
Yeah, exactly.
That topic that what we were arguing about that day. Even if I went and publicly said something, would that change that person still getting those opportunities? I highly doubt it.
Probably not. Yeah, but you know what the great thing? About all that was, and obviously I'm glad. I think we've talked about a couple topics, but you saying that actually brought that up. At the end of the day, guys like that, and we're talking about a former fighter that talked big game and he's a lot of bark and no bite ever. And I just knew personally from the industry he had screwed over a couple sponsors. He had skipped out. He basically mysteriously got injured the night of fights for a couple major promotions, things along those lines. Anyway, at the end of the day, guys like that will always be exposed. He after I brutally exposed him in MMA, he left for boxing, and he beat up a couple cans, and then he was given a journeyman fighter, and he was knocked out in 3 rounds. He's one of those guys that would do really well against not great competition when he was out in front, but when he got challenged and he had to dig down, he always folded. And guys like that, at the end of the day, guys like that will always show who they are. So you like you were saying, you and I talking about it didn't change anything, but the action showed who he really was.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not.
One thing
I don't take that away.
Say what? the one thing I like about our sport so much is the fact, like you guys said, it shows you who people really are. Like when you're pushed and when you're challenged, you'll see like, are you a quitter or will you rise and try and get through it? Now I have
exactly.
respect for guys that go out there and go for it.
Yeah, exactly. And like you said, like there's some guys that like, they'll go out there and they'll get, in that bad position, they'll try to rise up, and the other guy will in turn just turn his game up a little more. The other guy just can't quite do it. That's what's so beautiful about our sport, that brings out the best in these two guys in the ring or the cage.
Yeah, like you see who they are.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so before I distracted y'all, where were we going with that?
Well, because of where we're at now, we're basically we're at the end of the line here. I'm going to have to give our next guest a call here in a minute. But before we let you go, Tyler, what I do for all our guests, anyone you would like to thank, give shout out to your teammates, shoot out your social media sites, any sponsors you might have, charities you're working with, anything you want to say at all before we let you go, my friend. The time is yours.
All right. So I have a couple things here. First, everyone tune in to Rizin Fighting Federation, July 30th, 1 a.m. I will be fighting Amir Aliakbari. I will be exposing the frog in the co-main event of the evening. First, I want to give a shout out my good friend Chuck O'Neal. He was involved in he had an accident. He's actually a pro wrestler now. He was involved in a little bit of an accident, but there's a GoFundMe page. Go to GoFundMe, look at Chuck O'Neal, and anything you can do to help him out with his recovery would be great. At a broken tibia and fibula. He's a long road to recovery. We're trying to help him out a little bit. Any sponsors? I still have one spot on my banner. I'm working with Bad Boy for this fight. Any sponsor would like to make a donation, standard sponsor fee, I will donate all that money to Chuck O'Neal's recovery fund. Okay, enough about all that. Thank you, Connors Mixed Martial Arts. My boy Tom the Tank Egan, coach of Tough 23. He's going to be in my corner over in Japan. Thank you so much. Prix Supplements, Mike McCandless. Thanks for everything you've done for me. Like I said, my new sponsor, my new apparel sponsor, Bad Boy. Appreciate you guys taking care of me this fight. And that's about it. John Connors Mixed Martial Arts, Tom the Tank Egan. That's about it, guys. You got anything for me?
Tyler, it's always a pleasure having you on here. It was fun talking with you. One of these times we're gonna have to put you on with a little bit more time so we can delve into some more of these topics. It's sometimes 30 minutes just does not do any of our guests any amount of justice. So we'll definitely have you back on here again. Dude, it's definitely our pleasure. It was a long time coming, man. Best of skill for you to you on the 30th. Hopefully you get out of there with your hand raised and injury free, so we can get to see you back in action again as soon as we can.
All I know is Bellator made a big announcement. The other night during the broadcast about another show in my hometown. I wouldn't mind being a part of that, but I'll take care of business on the 30th, and we'll kind of go from there. But guys, so much. I appreciate you having me on. Like I said, this is like my second job. I consider this my second job. It's a cool job, but it's still a job. But this is what I love to do, and I really appreciate you guys giving me a platform to come on, speak, be myself, do my thing, and I love what you guys do too. And that's about it. Thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it.
It's our pleasure, Tyler. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and we'll have you go on again here in the future, my friend.